Welcome to Creative Insights. I'm your host, Murat Güvenç from Accuras. Every week, we bring technology evangelists, industry practitioners, and subject matter experts for a quick chat on industry topics and emerging technologies. Today, our guest is Dr. Ben Amaba. Ben is the VP of Strategic Partnership at Clarifai, and he's the former CTO at IBM. Ben, nice seeing you again.
It was wonderful to see you, Murat. Thank you so much for having us on the show.
So Ben, we know each other for some time, and you're always excited about emerging technologies and AI. Why should we care about AI?
You know, Murat, this is instrumental today. AI is growing at leaps and bounds, and it's more democratized. That means your average user has access to it. In the 1950s, even in the 1980s, you had to have that infrastructure, that capital cost. But today, with drones, smartphones, cameras, and even IoT sensors, they've allowed us to actually participate in just because the costs of those devices are lower, as well as capabilities have increased. So why is AI getting so popular? It's the infrastructure, the data, and more importantly, all of us are learning how to use it. I call that the democratization of AI.
Very good. And Ben, you are deeply involved now, deep learning and computer vision. Why is it so difficult to analyze unstructured data?
That's a great question. You know, we think in methodologies as individuals. We think of cells, rows, and columns. In unstructured data, there's a series of things. You've got to label it, you've got to understand it, but you've got to put it in a process on a platform that you can actually govern it. And it's in several areas. You're trying to govern the data, the model, and the process. So today, with those being out there and communities cropping up everywhere where they're sharing that knowledge on data, community, and the process, it's becoming more and more available to individuals, not just large companies, small to medium companies, even 2-3 individual companies are able to take advantage of this because there's reuse out in the market.
Okay, so can you give us some examples? What real world problems can computer vision solve?
Great question. In fact, Murat, I put it in the background here. What I really like about computer vision, all of us have cameras, all of us have smartphones, and it's accessible to us. But if you look in the background, what you see is an image or a video or even text when you actually look at it. What we are unable to do in the past is we not only look for the corrosion and rust, but now with vision capabilities and audio capabilities, you can see the relationship between corrosion and rust. We're not just looking at a specific panel, we're looking at the interdependencies of corrosion and rust. Now, where does that lead us? Instead of seeing one snapshot of an event, for example, when there's corrosion and rust on the tarmac, a part may fall off, a fastener or screw. So all of a sudden, this vision capability is not only looking at the panel or the screw or the fastener, it's looking at foreign debris on the tarmac. Now, it brings us to the next level. When we see foreign debris on the tarmac, we actually see an integrity loss. A fastener hits the tarmac and it disrupts the concrete, cracks the concrete. So why is computer vision so important to us today? And audio and video, a majority of us, 80% of us in the world still use what we see and what we hear. Imagine now that we have an AI machine that gives us 500 pairs of eyes, 500 pairs of ears, and now we just don't only see the corrosion or the rust, we see the relationship of it on a machine, on a tarmac, and on the concrete. So this is very important. We're seeing insights that we never saw before, not just one panel, but the series of machines and environment.
Wow, that's great. And my last question, Ben, is a personal one. So what is the most exciting problem have you worked on or working on?
You know, to me, that is that systems of system, Murat. When you and I travel the world, especially Europe, we would solve a specific problem at that driver, but then we also noticed that if we turn the knob on a specific problem, it would turn and have an effect down the pathway or down the road to other problems. I really like what's happening in the industrial and the retail sector. For example, in the retail sector, if you have bad connotations or a bad actor, maybe stealing, now you see the pattern. We've seen this in several events, not only in the retail area, but the industrial sector. What I am so excited about is that we don't see one silo, we see the entire environment in the entire system, which we couldn't do in the past. It was very assumption-based. Today, with all the data, it's database made decisions. And that's what's so exciting to me. Murat, you and I can travel the world and we can see 10x things that we never noticed before.
Thank you very much, Ben, for being our guest today and for insightful information. I look forward to our collaboration.
Thank you, Murat. It was a wonderful time. Really appreciate it.
Have a great day.